Right then, get comfortable. Now imagine feeling completely at home, yet utterly bewildered by your own transformation. You look in the mirror, and a stranger in a ridiculous shirt gazes back, utterly unfazed by the gecko chirping directly above his head. That is life for a Farang in rural Thailand. We are not talking about a holiday romance with pad thai. We are talking about the slow, deliberate shedding of familiar norms, the embrace of a baffling new reality, and the quiet, persistent question: is this cultural absorption, or have I simply lost the plot? My arrival was a masterpiece of bewildered optimism. I had prepared for temples and tuk-tuks, not for the profound, soul-searching challenge of a squat toilet at a crucial moment, or the first time I ate what I thought was a harmless green chili. I am fairly certain I saw my own future flash before my eyes, a future that was entirely on fire. What is more, the pace. Good Lord, the pace. I came from a world where efficiency was a religion. Here in Isaan, time is not money. It is a vague concept, like tomorrow's weather. I would be furious, sweat-drenched panic because the one-man hardware shop had not opened by 10:17 a.m. The locals would just smile. "My pen rai," they would say. Never has a phrase so gentle felt so much like a cultural sledgehammer. It does not mean do not care. It means, why are you constructing a universe of stress around the now? The now can wait. Sit, have some sticky rice. Then you do not notice at first. Nevertheless, one day you are mentally composing your shopping list, and your internal monologue slips. It is no longer, right, need eggs, coffee, and the new fuse. It's outside cafe fuse lick. A jumble. Your own brain has started subtitling itself in Thai. That is when you know the erosion has begun. Personal space, a forgotten luxury. You used to need a 30-centimetre buffer zone in a queue. Now you are sharing a motorbike seat with your wife, a live chicken, and a sack of fertilizer, and it feels logical. Communal living seeps into you. Your business is everybody's business, and strangely, their business becomes yours. You find yourself invested in the drama of whose buffalo ate what cassava. Then comes the blissful ignorance, the global news cycle. That relentless drumbeat of outrage fades to a distant mosquito whine. You have not the foggiest who's trending or which country is cancelling which. Has the world gone mad? Quite possibly. However, here the pressing headline is that old man Somsak caught a catfish the size of his leg. It is, I must admit, a rather refreshing brand of madness. In the village, you are assigned a role. You are either Farang Kondi, the good foreigner who tries, smiles, and brings biscuits to the temple, or the Farang Padek, the strange one who scowls and complains about the smell of fermented fish sauce. I aim for the former, but suspect I occasionally veer into the latter, especially before my morning coffee. Your wardrobe mutates. Your crisp Oxford shirts, once armoured for professional life, now seem as practical as a dinner jacket in the paddy field. They are replaced by collarless king shirts and those marvellous billowy fisherman's trousers. You choose clothes based on their ventilation and resistance to red dust, not on whether they make you look smart. Fashion is what does not make you sweat through your own socks. The true test comes when you call home. "So, what did you do today?" your sister in Leeds asks. How do you explain that your great triumph was successfully jerry-rigging the water pump with a bamboo sliver and a hair tie? Or that your afternoon's entertainment was watching 2 hours of monk's ordation ceremony, utterly content? You sound detached, alien to them. You are. To yourself, you are just getting on with it. Nevertheless, here is a secret they do not tell you. In shedding, you find things, unexpected joys, the profound satisfaction of a village festival, the glow of lanterns, the cacophony of moorland music, the shared bottle of dubious rice whiskey. You find yourself looking forward to the morning market, not for shopping, but the theatre of it all. You acquire absurd new skills. I can now discuss fertilizer with the gravity of a UN diplomat. I have a working knowledge of basic time motorbike repair, which largely involves hitting it and saying it's broken. I can identify 6 different types of edible mushroom and have developed a genuine, if grudging, appreciation for fermented fish paste. More surprisingly, you discover silence. Not the empty silence of a locked flat, but the rich, textured silence of the countryside at dusk. Crickets, frogs, the distant bark of a dog, the rustle of the mango tree. It is better than any podcast I've ever listened to on the tube. So, who am I now? I am a hybrid, a creature of 2 worlds, not fully at home in either, but with a unique, privileged perch in between. I am the grumpy Englishman who would tut a poorly made cup of tea, but will squat happily by a roadside grill eating spicy lard. I have absorbed my Penrai into my soul, and it now coexists with British sarcasm. Sarcasm, I should say. It is not an identity crisis. It is an identity merger. I look ahead, and the journey is not over. There is always more to learn, more to baffle and amuse me. The self-discovery continues with every monsoon rain, every mispronounced word that makes the whole shop laugh, and every quiet moment on the porch. The final, humorous twist. The last time I went back to visit the UK, I find myself bowing slightly with my hands in a while to the cashier at Sainsbury's. She looked terrified as I stood there in the chilled goods aisle and thought, good heavens, the rot is complete. And you know what, my Penrai? If this is a tale of cultural confusion and dusty redemption resonated with you, or if you have your own stories of going native, do share them down below. Subscribe if you would like to hear more from a grumpy old hybrid lost and found in the Isaan rice fields. Take care and goodbye.